I think this guy could use a hair treatment. I'd say he could use some bis dipropyl glycol dimaleate. Wouldn't you think so? All right, that needs a little bit of a story, doesn't it? So, you know what we're going to do? We are going to climb the ladder of success. Okay, an analogy is required here. Hair. Hair is a protein called keratin. And as any protein is made of a chain of amino acids. But the thing is that those amino acids are joined together in parallel chains by what we call sulfur-sulfur bonds, which is where my ladder comes in. I guess everyone knows what these are called. Those are kind of the rungs of a ladder. But how about this? That's called a stringer. And this is a great analogy for the keratin in hair. The stringers are the proteins. The rungs are the sulfur-sulfur bonds that hold the adjacent keratin molecules together. Now, when your hair is in bad shape, either because of too many permanents, too many colorings, or just too much heat treatment, then you have a problem because the sulfur-sulfur bonds breaks and the hair becomes frizzy and feels more like hay. So what do you do about this? Well, this is a challenge that was met by two chemists, Dr. Hawker and Dr. Presley. Presley was actually Hawker's former grad student, and working in Presley's garage, they cooked up a batch of molecules that could substitute for the sulfur-sulfur bonds and actually link together the two adjacent keratin strands. But they didn't think that the name of bis dipropyl glycol dimaleate would roll off people's tongues. So they did a little bit of research and they came up with Olaplex. And boy, did that ever take off. Why? Because Kim Kardashian, Jennifer Lopez sang its praises as being a chemical that can repair hair, which it did very nicely, until a problem cropped up. The problem was the scent of lily of the valley. Most cosmetics, of course, are scented. Well, it turns out lily of the valley is a scent that people like, but it's very difficult to extract from the flower. However, a compound called lilial can be made in the laboratory. It smells like lily of the valley, even though it's not found in the real flower. Well, that was used to scent Olaplex, but as it turned out, in Europe, scientists determined that this compound lilial resulted in infertility problems in rats, and they said it cannot be used. Even though it was only used in minute amounts in Olaplex, it had no toxicological relationship whatsoever. They decided to take it out of the product just to soothe people's fears. But once this fear was out there, the people's mind swung into action. And the company started to get all kinds of complaints about the hair falling out, about hair being destroyed, without any legitimacy, just because people had heard that there had been lilial in there and that it had been banned in Europe. Unfortunately, when you live by the social media, which has made the product popular in the first place, you can also die by social media. So I think castigating this product because it contained lilial once upon a time is totally unjustified. And I think it turns out to be a very, very good product, because if you do have damaged hair and you want to repair it, bis aminopropyl dimaleate just may be the way to go.